Well, an adverb, just like adjectives, is a word, okay? It's a word, but in this case, it is used to describe, but it describes many things. It can describe a verb, it can describe an adjective, or it can also describe another adverb, okay? So, an adverb is a word that will tell us how, why, where, and how frequently things occur. So, adverbs are also really important. And in this part, you're going to find out six of them in the second part and the verbs that they describe. In this case, the verbs are being described by adverbs. So take a pause on this video, and then when you come back, we will see what you find as far as the answers. When you're done with this part, you're going to move to part F. In the part F, you're going to think, okay? You're going to use your head to think a little bit about the ending of the story. How do you think this story ends? Take a short break to think about it. Alright, so now we're gonna listen to the end of the story to see what happens to Mr. Nasruddin, okay? Pay attention. Nasruddin said, "When I came here earlier in my old farming clothes, no one would talk to me. But when I changed into this coat, suddenly everyone was friendly. So I realized that I'm not welcome at this party, but my fine clothes are. And so I am fitting my coat." So, did you like the story? I like the story too. It has a very good moral. Some people like to see or describe somebody by the appearance without knowing what is on the inside. So now let's move on into the review. I want you to know the difference between adjectives and adverbs. Those are similar words, but they can vary in many ways. So I will explain it to you right now, okay? You can read with me on this part. You usually put adjectives before nouns. Adjectives describe people and things. So remember that in this part, the adjectives are words to describe. They give a characteristic to something or to somebody. Let's see the examples here. We have the example here. He had muddy shoes. So the shoes are muddy. It means that they were dirty. They had a lot of dirt. The next example says he wore dirty clothes. So he was wearing clothes. But what type of clothes? The clothes were dirty. Dirty means not clean. Okay? Full of dirt. Let's see another example. He imagined cold drinks and tasty chicken. So he imagined drinks, but what type of drinks? Cold drinks. So cold is a characteristic. And the chicken, he imagined tasty chicken. Not fried chicken, not smoked chicken. He imagined tasty chicken. Tasty means yummy. So these words, muddy, dirty, cold, and tasty, are called adjectives. They are used to give you a description, an additional characteristic of a thing. Just like I mentioned, the red mouse or the green cat. It gives me a characteristic. Now, when you use the verb to be, the verb be is, am, or are. Or when you use sense verbs, you put adjectives after the verb. This is a tip. So when you're using the verb be or you're using the sense verbs like smell, taste, hear, see, you need to put the adjectives after the verb. Let's see some examples. The party was fun. The party was fun. Fun is the adjective and it comes after the verb be. The party was fun. Number 2, he felt tired and hungry. He felt. Felt is a sense verb. I feel, I felt. He felt tired and hungry. Okay? Alright, so now we saw what adjectives are. Let's move on to adverbs. Adverbs describe verbs. That is important here. Adjectives describe nouns. Adverbs describe verbs. Adverbs of manner tell us how something happens. They usually go after the verb. So it's important to remember that these kind of adverbs usually go after the, yes, after the verb. Let's see some examples. He walked silently into the room. How did he walk? Silently, yes, in silence. People smiled warmly at him. Smiled warmly. How did they smile? Warmly. So the way they smiled is warmly. Now, these are two examples of how adverbs work. They explain how something happens, okay? Now, to form an adverb of manner, this is important. To form an adverb of manner, you usually add ly to the adjective. So in the end of the adjective, we just put ly, and that will transform it into an adverb. For example, the word come changes to comely. Comely. Careful changes to carefully. Careful changes to carefully. And wise changes to wisely. Wise changes to wisely. Now, look at the tip here. Happy changes to happily. Gentle changes to gently. Now, just remember, it's important to remember that this rule applies for most of the adjectives and most of the adverbs, but some adverbs are irregular. For example, the word good will change to well, when the word fast will change to fast. So this is a big difference. The word good cannot be goodly. It doesn't change to goodly. We need to say well. And fast, of course, is very normal. So that is a big difference.